Good morning, rainmakers. Today's episode is about mastering communication, the art of connection and influence. Effective communication is the key to success in all aspects of life, whether it be with your work colleagues, children, wives, husbands. And in this episode, what I'll try and do is dive into the importance of understanding yourself and others, developing empathy, and really delivering messages in a way that creates positive outcomes for both parties involved. We'll explore personal experiences and lessons learned and practical techniques to help you sort of articulate yourself better and sort of build more meaningful relationships in order to be more confident and have more impact as a communicator and a human being. So the reason I came up with this topic is because we've just started a business, and we have a board of directors that we're all part of. And I found that even in these many years as I've been alive, I still find it difficult to communicate in an effective manner, which is, no, I wouldn't say polite, but endearing towards other people's ways of listening and communicating. I've grown up from a young age with a lot of peers around me, teachers, family members, and especially my mother. And as my parents got divorced at a very young age, I believe I was about 6. At the age of 10, my parents both went to work, and I had to look after my brother and sister, who were predominantly about 3 and 7 years old. So, yeah, looking after my brother at that age, changing his nappies, feeding his milk. I was treated as an adult by my mum, not as a little boy. Now, don't get me wrong, I try to treat my son like an adult as well, but in a different way, in terms of the fact that I try to make sure that he's listened to, he's understood, his feelings are taken into consideration, and it's not what the adults say the children have to do, because ultimately I want him to feel like he's on the same level of us and that he's growing in confidence, able to articulate himself and be part of the conversation and talk about his feelings and not feel like there's a hierarchy in place in order to be shouted at. So my communications with him are totally different from my communications that I had with my mother. Hence, I've learned maybe through experience to try and be a better communicator. Now, with my mom, of course, because she was busy and we had lots of things to do, i.e., she's gone to work, I had to clean the house, make the bed, make dinner, make sure everybody went to bed on time. And so there was clear instructions on what to do, how to do it. If it wasn't done properly, I got told you need to do it like this, because if you're not going to do it like this, don't bother doing it, because it needs to be done like this. Otherwise, I've got to do it. So the instructions were very clear, very direct. There wasn't time for sort of mollycoddling the situation, as in like, oh, you've done a really great job there, but could you like do it like this next time? No, it was like a case of, right, pillows aren't fluffed properly. You've got to get the pillows correct, otherwise don't bother doing it. So I grew up sort of taking instructions. And if I'm being honest, I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know, I had responsibility. I was treated like a little boy. I got pocket money, but also at the same time, you know, I wasn't treated as a kid in that manner of, you know, being sort of mollycoddled. Now, even my mum says this day and age today, oh, the way you were brought up and the way you're bringing up your children is different. But I understand that, you know, life's different now and there's different ways of looking at things and everything. However, you did grow up well, didn't you? Well, yes, I did, Mum. But at the same time, I learned only at a very later stage that my philosophy used to be treat people the way you want to be treated. However, only maybe about 15 or 20 years ago, I sort of worked out to treat people the way they want to be treated. Why do I say that? Because of the fact that ultimately I am happy to take in criticism. I don't even see it as criticism. I just see it as I'm talking to somebody, I'm getting feedback from them, I'm giving them my opinion, they're giving me theirs. And therefore there is no emotion attached to what they're saying. So you could even call me names, Blackie, Mr. Skinny, whatever you want to do. Nothing racist there. All my sister and brother and everybody used to take the mick out of my colour anyway as well. Ultimately, I am willing to learn and understand, and I don't have emotion attached to it, because I guess from a young age, that's how I learned to communicate with my parents, in terms of the fact that there was no time to cry or be busy. I was busy. However, I've now learned through experience, and also speaking to my wife, who is sort of the polar opposite of me, and I learn a lot from her, and she learns a lot from me. Something that you as individuals should also do. Try and learn from other people. Don't think that they're correct or you're correct. Everybody's correct. You're trying to be the best, most rounded person that you are. So tip there: always learn from other people, even with different personalities. And I learned to be more empathetic and listen to her feelings. And when I said things, I would say to her, "So what did you think I mean?" And she would say totally the opposite of what I was trying to articulate. So at that point, I realized that, I'm trying to say A, you're hearing Z. So therefore, I'm not really understanding your personality and the way you are and the way you hear things. And I'm not being empathetic towards your feelings. And actually, I'm getting the reverse effect of what I actually want to do, which is just to help or be kind. So then I'm getting upset because I think I'm not listened to, but then she's also getting upset thinking I have some ulterior motive, which I don't, because ultimately I'm a very kind person. I say what I mean, but at the same time, I don't try to BS things. But I've learned now to turn it down. For example, if my wife asked me, or girlfriend in the past, how do I look in that dress? And I say, oh, it makes your bum look big. I now turn it down and say, yes, it's very nice. And I listen to and hear, is she really asking me how I look? Or is she asking me just for a bit of confidence and self reassurance that, she feels $1 million. And if her husband can tell her that she feels $1 million, then she feels, on top of the world. And regardless of whether backside looks a bit big or not, she's going to carry that off and work that, baby, work that, as they say. Anyway, so in terms of empathy, it's important to understand, and I've changed in terms, but I still find it difficult. Why do I find it difficult? Because of the fact that now I've got to sort of think about things in terms of how I want to say them. And then I have to relate and talk it to somebody in the terms that they want to hear. So number one, I have to be a sort of a mind reader. I have to understand the person I'm speaking to, and I have to also then articulate it in a way which is going to resonate with them. Now, when it comes to business or even communication with your son or wife, this needs to be done all the time. You need to have a process in your head where you basically stay calm for 2-3 seconds, think about what you're trying to say, think about how you're going to deliver it in order to get the outcome that you want to get, which is, I'm trying to help this person, for example. I want them to learn to exercise. The reason I want them to exercise is because of the fact that I care about them and I want them to live a long time so that they will live a fruitful life and be my friend for life until I die. And so therefore, when I present this and say it to them, I shouldn't sort of criticize them and say you're fat, or, you could lose some weight, or you're so lazy. Maybe I should articulate it in a way like, the friends around us are getting unwell at the moment. Why don't we sort of have a pact of trying to be more healthy? and trying to lose a little weight together, maybe setting up a little competition or eating thing, and then articulating it in that way. So therefore, then it feels like, oh, you really care about me, and you care about the way I look, but more importantly, you actually care that you want me to be around for a long time. So it comes across as a totally different message. So it's important that you sort of understand that, and then you can practice this as well in everyday life. So you're going to get a coffee, rather than being grumpy and just saying, oh, can I just have an Americano? Look at that person and practice. Can I have an Americano, please? Are they chirpy? Are they not? Are they feeling sad? If they're feeling sad, then try and cheer them up. Have a bit of banter with them. Try and resonate with them. Try and sort of test it by the way they're reacting. When you're speaking to your kid and he says, oh, can I have a sweet? Or is it okay to play? Can I play with you, Daddy, today? Would you like to come and kick the ball with me? If you're busy, then say, look, son, I'd love to come and play with you. I've just got to do a couple of emails. Once I finish those emails, though, is it okay if I come and play with you at this time, or we play tomorrow? As opposed to, I'm too busy, I've got work to do, just go play by yourself. Now, ultimately, yes, you are busy, but of course, you don't want to upset him, do you? You're there to bond with your child. So why are you using language as if it's just like, somebody else told you that? Now, of course, we don't get much time to play, but if you wanted to watch a Netflix movie with your wife, and you'd now sort of set up the room and chosen the film, and just after dinner you say, oh, would you like to watch some Netflix with me, darling? Not Netflix and chill, by the way, just Netflix, so that, there's no ulterior motive there. And she goes, oh, no, I'm going to bed. And you're like, wow, okay. No, that's not fair, is it? Not really nice and stuff. But ultimately, if she sort of says to you, look, sorry, darling, I didn't realize that you were going to be doing Netflix today. I've actually got a really important call tomorrow, but if we can do Netflix tomorrow, that would be fantastic. I'd love it. It's so kind of you to, set up some quality time. So therefore, again, the answer is different and the resonation is different, as opposed to me then being in a hump that I've now got to watch Netflix by myself. And ultimately, I've made an effort because I've been told I don't make an effort. And then this carries on and the communication process all breaks down, and there's loggerheads here and there. And then out of a small little communication error, there is a big cloud created, which then ruins the relationship going forward. Now, of course, I'm, talking on a big necessary sort of creating a mountain out of a molehill. But this is what happens, even in business, even when you are speaking to your clients. Soon as you pick up the phone, you need to listen to them, listen to what they're saying, listen to how you can resonate with them, see how you can really sort of understand what they are looking for and what they're doing, and understanding, for example, what their needs are. When you're doing the viewing with them, understand and see how they're moving, what they're talking about, and listen to what language they use, and deliver your message in a method which is going to benefit you from both angles of the conversation, and achieves a common goal for you both. So to conclude and recap, main points: self-awareness, empathy, and mindfulness in order to articulate your point clearly. Treat every interaction that you have as an opportunity to be better at what you do, i.e., even if it's speaking to the taxi driver, coffee barrister, your children, your wife, practice those, because as you practice and the better you become at it, imagine walking into a room and everyone's like, oh, hi, Priyan, how are you? Because they are resonating with you. Different types of people from different backgrounds. And they're like, wow, this guy always makes me feel like $1 million because he listens. He talks to me in my language. I don't understand how he's such an articulate guy. But ultimately, I'm not doing anything different other than the fact that I am listening and I am sort of getting in the groove of understanding and being with somebody. So to conclude with, remember, communication isn't just about speaking. It's about connecting, not only with yourself and who you are, but with the people that you're speaking to. And it's better that you connect and have a greater impact on what you're doing, what others are doing, and life in general. I hope that helped. It's something I'm still working on. It's something that I still need to be fully aware of. And as I said, I had a conversation with my business partner, and he said, "Why don't you make it a podcast?" So there it is, a podcast for you, requested by one of the rainmakers. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any feedback or comments, please feel free to let me know.